I am Henry Ashton and I play Max Hastings in A Good Girl's Guide to Murder on the BBC, and then it's releasing on Netflix on August 1st internationally, including America.
The first thing we were wanting to know is what did you know about A Good Girl's Guide to Murder before you auditioned?
I didn't know much. I actually hadn't read the book. I hadn't heard of it. So yeah, when I first got the audition through, um, I didn't know a lot about it, but then did a bit of research and realized that it was some very, very, very successful series of three books. And yeah, did the audition. And then in the time that I did the audition and then got recalled, I'd read all three books. Um, and yeah, and I wasn't expecting to like them as much as I did. They're not something that I would have picked up by myself, but I'm so glad I did, and I understand why they're so successful. I absolutely love reading them, and then my mum read them, my sister read them, but basically my whole family read them, my friends read them. So yeah, I clued up pretty quickly, but at first I wasn't aware.
Yeah. Are you like a big reader? Did you grow up reading a lot?
I mean, I would say yes, but that would probably be a bit of a lie. I like reading. I'm quite something needs to grab me within the first couple of chapters for me to continue reading it, and I don't know whether it's my attention span or something, once I pick up a book and I'm enjoying the first couple of chapters, then I won't put it down. But yeah, I'd say I read fairly often.
Yeah. Okay, cool. I'd say I'm in a similar boat. So
Yeah,
I think that's awesome. That must mean that the book was good enough to
it was.
finish
It
and it was
definitely
good
was.
enough to read all of them. So
Yeah.
that's good news for you, I guess. We were also wondering what the audition looked like for you.
Mhm.
If you got really into it or anything interesting like that.
Yeah, well, the first audition was a self-tape. So they sent me the sides through, and I think it was the which scene was it? It was when Pip goes into Max's bedroom in episode two, and also the Hastings party scene in episode one. Those were the two scenes they sent. I did the self-tape, and I knew that I was had a good chance of hopefully being recalled because reading the character breakdown of Max and how he looked and where he was from basically sound like a description of me. He looked like I looked. He's from the same area. That's where our similarities stop. I'll just say that. And then after that, a couple maybe like a month later, I got recalled. So I went into the room with Dolly Wells, the director, and Florence, the producer, and we did the scenes again. And Dolly gave me some notes, and we played around a little bit, and it was great. It was a Dolly's an amazing person to have in an audition room as an actor as well. She was throwing some really interesting notes and getting me to kind of play with different things. And yeah, it was a wonderful audition. And then after that, I think it was about a week until I found out I had the job. So it was all fairly quick.
Yeah, absolutely. I guess it sometimes is, who knows?
Sometimes,
Cool,
sometimes
cool.
not.
Yeah, fair enough, fair enough. Okay, so for those who maybe haven't read the book yet, and are interested in watching, how would you describe the story? But could you do it like you were a detective, kind of? Like act like a detective and describe the story?
Okay. Um, okay, so I don't play a detective. Wow, put me on the spot.
I
Um,
know, I know. It's a little abstract, but
that's okay. Um, so A Good Girl's Guide to Murder follows the story of Pip Moby, a young schoolgirl doing her EPQ. She decides to do her EPQ on the disappearance of Andy Bell and the death of Sal Singh. And throughout the course of this EPQ, she uncovers a lot of secrets in Little Kilton, some that she wanted to discover, others that she didn't want to discover. but all in all, it culminates in a hopefully surprising outcome.
Bingo. Okay.
I don't know if that was a very good detective. I have to
No,
work.
that was perfect. That's perfect. It's kind of a funky little request, so don't.
Okay.
I think that was great. Okay, so you play Max, obviously, and we were wondering what your favorite like character quality is about him.
I think the most fun thing about Max is his relationship to Pip. I think that they sort of find each other as, to some extent, equals in terms of, I don't want to say their intelligence because I think Pip might be more intelligent than Max, but in their kind of, Max is intelligent in quite a manipulative, scheming way. And so when they come together in the scenes, I think the kind of verbal sparring and power dynamic that they kind of have, I think that was my favorite thing about Max as a character. I think Pip brings out Max in a way that he's not used to being revealed. Thinks he keeps a lot of things hidden. And in the first couple of episodes, you see him holding that power, manipulating, scheming, and then Pip draws the real Max out of him. And you see that a bit later on. So yeah, I'd say that that's what I enjoyed about playing Max and the quality I like most.
Yeah, Max seems like kind of a rather complicated character. Like what did you have to do to get into that role?
Yeah, it was a challenge. I've never played anyone like Max before. Because, I wanted to play him as truthfully as possible and, make him a real human, not just, the archetypal villain. I wanted someone that people could, you know, definitely hate, but also sort of hopefully understand a little bit more. And that all comes from, asking a lot of questions about Max's relationships with his parents, with his friends, his upbringing. And I think with Max, he obviously comes from privilege. And I think with privilege comes entitlement. And I think with Max, that's the biggest thing is that sense of entitlement and deserving of things. And it was difficult because there's we tackle some pretty difficult subjects, um, and it's very easy to judge your character. But if you start judging your character, it becomes very difficult to play them truthfully. So you have to kind of find, as dark as it is and how horrible it is, you have to find kind of not justification, but kind of understanding of why they behave the way they behave. Um, so yeah, you have to go to some places that you don't really want to go to in your mind, but it's needed to hopefully play him truthfully.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like you put that very well, so that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. Okay, so you got to work with Emma Myers, who plays Pippa, and we all know from Wednesday on Netflix. So what was it like working together?
Emma's the best. She's the best. Yeah, she put the whole show on her shoulders. She really did, and there's a lot of pressure, especially with the kind of ready-made fan base of the books. I think being Pip, it was a lot of pressure, but she handled it beautifully and always positive, so hardworking, very, very generous within the scenes, really fun, really funny. Yeah, I'm so happy that pretty much all my scenes, I think all my scenes pretty much are with Emma and just such an amazing scene partner. As I said, so generous with her energy and yeah, we got on great. And I feel like we really created a chemistry. And I know that sounds weird. Usually talk about chemistry between kind of the
Yeah.
two kind of leads in a love kind of thing. But I think Max and Pippa have a chemistry between them. Um, and I think Emma and I really kind of found that as we were working together. And I can't wait to work with her again.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. That's awesome. It's always nice to have somebody who's like a good like bright spot no matter
Yeah,
where you are. So I can imagine that that was helpful
she
and
was. Yeah.
awesome. Yeah. So did you and Emma and even the rest of the cast like do anything outside like off camera to like help with your roles and like the chemistry like you said?
Oh, we did loads of stuff. Like we hung out all the time because we were all in Bristol together. And I don't think any of us, apart from maybe a few people, none of us are from Bristol. So we were coming in and we were staying at the hotel, and obviously Emma was there the whole time. So we'd all kind of pop in and out. And yeah, we did loads of stuff. We went bowling, we went to dinner, we went for drinks, um, we went to kind of arcade places, and we really got on as a cast. We really did. I'm not sure if I I don't think any of us did anything to kind of help with our kind of characters or anything outside of it, because I think just building a familiarity and a trust and a closeness between the cast is it's really, really important for things to be clicking on set. Um, so yeah, no, we all got on great.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that. That always like kind of makes it a little bit
Yeah,
like more interesting to watch when you know like everybody like likes each other and had a good time while they were filming it too. So that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah.
indeed.
Do you guys, I guess that means you guys have like downtime on set ever? Like I feel like that's something that's kind of common where you just like sit around a whole bunch before like and after you record scenes.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you get there's I mean it really is it's hurry up and wait with this stuff. So you kind of get there early and you're sitting around in the green room for a bit. So yeah, just start chatting, and we filmed in some really interesting places like the Hastings basement where we filmed the first scene, and then um in the school. Yeah, so there was lots of times of downtime just kind of hanging out and getting to know each other.
Yeah. I guess that leads to my next question is, was there a snack table and what was your go-to snack from the snack table if it was there?
Oh, I mean, do you know what Emma was? This is one thing Emma was always talking about how different the snacks were from Wednesday to the Girls
Really?
Guide to Murder. I don't get yeah. Oh, what are my favorite snacks? I love crisps. I'm a massive crisp fan. Yeah, so like some kettle chips, probably
Mm.
posh crisps. The fans will know about that one. And yeah, I guess crisps. I'm not really a big. I haven't got a sweet tooth, so I'm not really into the chocolate. Um, I think an apple. I know it's really boring, but an apple just before you do a scene is actually really, really good because it helps you do addiction somehow. I don't know how, but if you have like an apple, it kind of cleans your mouth. I know this sounds gross, but
No, that makes sense.
it
It makes
does. It really helps. It helps with me anyway. I feel like I can get my mouth around words better when I've had an apple.
yeah. No, that's good. That's a good like pro tip too. So
I
I
don't know
love
about
it.
that, but it's a tip.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Okay, so did you have like a playlist for Max, like to help you get into character, or like what do you think would be on his playlist if you had to pick a couple songs?
That's a really good question. Because I think that's a really good way of finding a character is finding what music they listen to. And I did. I basically decided, and what felt good for me was that he was into kind of house music, like EDM house music.
Yeah.
So I listened to oh God, you put me on the spot. What did I listen to? It was I'm going to embarrass myself if I say it wrong now.
No, that's okay. That's okay.
Dusky. Dusky, I think, which was some house music. I think I just listened to kind of like a house music playlist,
Yeah.
because I feel like, yeah, I don't think Max is really he likes to party and he likes to take drugs and he likes to, um, I don't think he's really bothered about singer-songwriters or bands or anything like that. I think he's more kind of, um, he needs his music to kind of fit to his lifestyle, and I think house music really fits to that.
Yeah. That's a good point. That's a good point. And that's so interesting too. So, I love
It's
it.
gonna be not. It's not dusky. I've completely embarrassed myself saying
That's
that.
okay. That's
I
okay. I
can't
wouldn't
remember
know.
what it
So
was. Yeah.
that's good stuff though. I love it. What was like the biggest challenge for you while recording, like, and the biggest challenge for this project, and how did you overcome it?
Again, I'd say it was just tackling the subject matter of
Mhm.
of Max's actions. And I guess it was a challenge for me when I realized how big the books were and how many people were going to watch the show. I guess there was a little challenge for me to kind of worrying maybe how I was going to be perceived as an actor. Because I think sometimes people can get kind of them in the part, but kind of come one to the audience. And because of what Max gets up to in the show, there was a moment of going, oh wow, wow. I wonder how people are going to respond to me as an actor. But I was very, very, very lucky with the support system of the show, Holly and Florence and Dolly. They were very aware of that and were always there to talk to. And when Holly announced us as cast, she did a whole post about, Henry is an actor. He's playing Max. He's not the part. He's very nice and all this kind of stuff. And you know what? I haven't received one nasty comment about anything. All I've received is positivity, and a lot of that positivity is telling me how much they hate Max, and I take that as a compliment because it means I've done something right. So yeah, I guess that was a bit of a challenge, but I'm feeling really good about it now.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And that's something that I feel like only people who play like hard roles like that will kind of be able to understand, because
Yeah,
that's something I wouldn't have thought of before, like how that affects like the person who plays that part. So that's very, very insightful. Appreciate you sharing that with us.
you're welcome.
Um, but yeah, was there anything funny that happened off camera that you can share with us?
God, nothing's really coming to. I nearly smashed. Oh no, I know. Okay, so there's a scene. Oh, they didn't even. I've just realized I watched the whole thing and it's not in there. So they cut it. That's okay. There was a moment where Sal, played played by Raoul, was kind of throwing me up against this wooden garden door in this kind of very small street, and he was throwing me up against it pretty aggressively for about 20 minutes, and then these two kind of schoolgirls came back, and they were like, "I'm so sorry, this is our door." I'm like, "Oh, please head in, head in, head in." And they went in, and we knew they were just standing on the other side of the door, listening to us do this like weird little scene. And he threw me against it so much that we ended up breaking the door. And I think the BBC had to shell out for a new door for this poor family. But yeah, that was quite funny.
That's so funny. Oh my goodness. I guess it happens sometimes. It's just the
Hey,
price you pay for.
gotta suffer for the art, you know. You
Yeah.
have to do it, so be it. But then it got cut, so I mean,
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. It was still a memory now that you get to have from that. So cool, cool, cool. Okay, we have like two more questions, and then we have like a little, it's like a rapid fire kind of round, so it goes kind of quick.
Mhm.
But yeah, and then I'll let you go. But really quickly first, is there anything that you did in this project that was like a first for you that you haven't experienced yet?
Quite a few things actually. I This is the first time I did a show where I wore normal clothes, not period clothes.
Hmm.
Every job before that, I was dressed in a tunic or a soldier's costume or some kind of thing from the past. So this is the first time I've been in a contemporary show, which was good. It was much easier to get dressed every morning. Um, what else? It's the first time I've played someone like Max, if you want to call him a villain, then yeah. First time I drove a car on a show, got to drive the Land Rover, which was really fun. There's this amazing road that we filmed on. It's called the Road to Nowhere, which is basically just this straight road in the middle of nowhere with no other roads connected to it. So you can just drive down this. That's yeah. So that was cool. Enjoyed driving the car. Yeah, those are the three that kind of jump out at me.
Yeah, those are all really cool. I like don't think about driving in movies and TV. Like I'm like,
Yeah.
that's just so natural. It always looks so
Crazy.
normal that like I wonder how they do that.
Yeah, yeah, I was
So,
actually driving. I was terrified of crashing it, to be fair. I was I was like
yeah,
some
I'm
people
terrified of
crashed the
crashing
car.
every time I drive anywhere. So fair enough. Cool, cool, cool. Okay, so you mentioned Holly Jackson earlier,
Mhm.
and we were wondering like what kind of relationship you got to have with her, if you got to like speak with her about how to play Max or anything like that.
Yeah, we actually have, this is you've reminded me of another thing with Holly. Basically, one of my best friend's girlfriend is a childhood friend of Holly's,
Huh, okay.
and when Holly announced that she was making it into a TV show, I want to say like 2 years ago now, my friend's girlfriend said to her, "I know the perfect guy to play Max." Talking about me, and I was still in drama school at this point. Like this was a while ago. And anyway, nothing came of it because it takes so long for everything to get going. But when I got cast, my friend was messaging me, being like, "Hey, how's it going?" I'm like, "Cool, I got this really cool job. It's this thing called A Good Girl's Guide to Murder." And he was like, "What?" And he told me that Elliot, his girlfriend, had recommended me for the part for like two years before. So I guess I was always kind of I was always kind of meant to play Max. And having said that, so Holly was aware of me before, and she was on set all the time. And I mean, having the author of the book, of the character that you're playing, I mean, it's pretty rare to get that as an actor. This kind of just source of information at your fingertips. So yeah, I think we all talked to her about it and asked her opinions and try to find out some secrets. So yeah, having Holly there was amazing.
Yeah, I can imagine. That's crazy too. Like
Mm,
small world, really.
yeah, yeah.
I love it. I love it. Okay, and this is the last question we have before that little rapid fire round. But what do you think that like people will take away from Max after watching the series?
Yeah, like a real distaste, to be honest. I can't see anyone walking away after watching the first series being a fan of Max. Um, but hopefully, what I want them to take away is that we've set Max up to be kind of the antithesis of everything that Pip stands for. I think that's really important. Um, and I think that's important for if there are more seasons, that's a through line through them that Max kind of represents everything that Pip stands against.
Yeah,
If
great,
that's
great, great, great. Very, very insightful. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Okay, so then for this little rapid fire round, there's like six or seven, and it's like really quickly, like super short answers that you can give. Like it's like about you and like your acting
okay.
experience and all that. Okay, so what was your first acting role ever?
I mean, my first ever acting role, I played Mr. Fox in Fantastic Mr. Fox when I was 10 years old in the Bovingdon Players.
That's awesome. I love that
So
movie.
great.
So that's crazy. Okay. So what was your first audition? Was that your first audition?
I can't even remember if I auditioned for it. I was so young. I think people just turned up and be like, "Hey, I want to act," and they're like, "Cool, read this, great, do that." And that was it. My first audition, I auditioned for Stormbreaker, which was a film ages ago, when I was 13. That was my first ever like proper audition. Um, yeah, and then the next one wouldn't be until I was in my late 20s. So.
Wow. Wow. Okay. Cool. 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 What's your dream role? If you could play like anything that already happened or will happen, what would it be?
Yeah, I'd love to play Kurt Cobain in a biopic.
Okay. Good answer. Okay. What's your first day on any type of set like?
I mean, just getting to know everyone, trying to learn as many people's names as you can.
Okay. Cool. Have you your first on-screen kiss, if any?
I don't have one yet.
Okay. Maybe in the future then, huh?
Maybe.
Who knows? Okay. Have you ever had to cry on cue?
Yes.
Okay. When?
I did a short film called The War Ends at 11. I did it in drama school. And there's a moment where yeah, my fellow soldier had died, spoiler alert, and I had to kind of kneel down next to him, but the camera was here, so there wasn't enough room for him to lie down. So I was basically looking down the lens of the camera, and it was really, really close. And I mean, luckily is not the right word because it was horrible, but a week before my dog died, and so I had I had a little well of energy of emotion built up, and I just had to think about Bertie, and
Yeah. Oh,
tears came. But that was a long time ago now, so I haven't had to do it since. But we'll see. I'm sure I
yeah.
will have to do it at
Yeah,
some
yeah,
point.
yeah. No, that's a good story though. I'm sorry about that.
It's okay. It's an
Okay.
old.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. For sure. Okay, and the very last one is the first movie or TV show that inspired you to start acting.
I'd say the first season of True Detective with Matthew McConaughey and Woody Harrelson was the first time that I saw TV. I think that was the tipping point for me. Movies and TV were so different back then, and you did one or the other. And this is the first time you had two movie actors in a TV series, and I don't know, it opened it up for me, being like, oh, this is going to change everything, and it kind of did. And now TV shows are basically just long movies. So I don't know if that answers your question, but I remember that being a moment of being like, what an amazing thing to be an actor, because now you don't have to just do movies, you can do TV and movies. I am Henry Ashton. Thank you so much for watching, and please subscribe to Young Entertainment.